are a veteran, you were so focused on several issues in the Senate, including advocating for veterans. It seems that, and we've talked about this before, that people forget about the veterans. It just blows my mind that the very people that we say, thank you for your service, are the very same people that as a society we forget. And you have not. And you keep finding ways to help veterans. There's the hero, proposal. There's also, what I'm looking here, I cannot believe that there are people who take advantage of veterans, helping them navigate through the system, and then charge them. And they're called claim sharks.
Yeah.
So please tell us about the amendment that was adopted, that you proposed to curtail that abuse of people who are very vulnerable.
I've come to a realization in my life that if there's an opportunity to make money off someone else, no matter who that someone else is, there are people in this world who will take that opportunity. So veterans have to file claims, right? If they've got a VA disability, they're putting in for that disability. Much of it is paperwork intensive. So a cottage industry has developed of unscrupulous folks who say, okay, let's get into the business of processing, filling out claims for these veterans, and let's charge them exorbitant rates, high interest rates. Additionally, we're going to make false promises to them about the type of result that we can get them. I've been hearing about in this recently, and it's just been driving me crazy. And I have to give credit to a lot of the veteran service officers throughout Western Mass, to include all of you, who have brought this to my attention and said, look, we do much of this work. There are any number of groups who are licensed and accredited to do it. We don't charge. And why is this happening? And I said, I don't know, but I'll get back to you. Anyway, I started off this intellectual journey where I found out that there are many people in this Commonwealth that are doing that. Again, they are representing themselves to be people who are above board, who are great, will help you get your claim processed. And I think it's important to remember that a lot of these folks that they're dealing with, in many instances, they're older adults. In many instances, English is a barrier, is a second language rather. And it's just folks trying to take advantage of others, in this instance, veterans, by charging them exorbitant rates. So what we did is we said, look, if you're going to do this, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give the veteran themselves. We have a very powerful consumer protection statute in Massachusetts. It's called 93A. Who can file a 93A claim is limited. Who can be a petitioner, who can be a plaintiff. So what we do is we say, if you are a veteran and one of these individuals or these groups has taken advantage of this, you're going to be able to sue them. And if your case is proven, not only you're going to be able to recover your damages, you're going to be able to get what we refer to as treble damages in Massachusetts, which is triple damages. I can't think of any behavior more reprehensible than taking advantage of a disadvantaged veteran who needs help and then charging that individual and then promising them a bill of goods of what you can deliver for them, and taking their money and running, or taking their money and just not doing anything for them. So we put a stop to it.
That's excellent. There's not a shortage of people who take advantage of other people, for sure. And
crazy.
And you guys have to keep like inventing new laws to target. You know, it's like, what is that? You strike one down, another one pops up.
Whack-a-mole. I was funny you said that. I was thinking, a lot of times I feel in this, someone asked me to describe my job the other day. And one of the things I said, I feel like I play whack-a-mole a lot. You know, it's like we do something, we address a harm, and then folks, you know, I often say that if sometimes people took as much energy, you know, doing things that are productive instead of taking advantage of others, It could be entrepreneurs making multi-million dollars, but instead they want to focus on taking advantage of our most disadvantaged, some of our most marginalized communities. And it's the most distasteful, just awful thing that I can imagine. So it was a step in the right direction, but to our collective point, probably by the time I get off this Zoom, I'm going to have a phone call from someone telling me another practice that's out there. And look, all you can do is keep on plugging in the right direction.
Okay. Senator, I feel like this is a good ending for us.
I love it. I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one that sets the tone. I just want to touch one other thing on veterans really fast.
Okay. Sure.
In the veterans bill that initially came out from the governor, as well as the House of Representatives, and I'm bringing this up because it involves Holyoke. In Massachusetts, veterans pay for their license plates, $40.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And legislation that was put forward would do away with that. And on its face, that's great. Right? Like veterans, I think if they've earned something, I think they've earned a lot, but that's a way to say thank you. The problem that I had as the state senator who represents one of the soldiers' homes, one of the veterans' homes, obviously the Holyoke Soldiers' Home, is that the money that the veterans paid that $40 to, much of that money went back to our two veterans' homes, Holyoke and Chelsea. So I said, well, no. I don't get me wrong. I want a free license plate. Many veterans want a free license plate. But if that money is going to Holyoke for things like the canteen to bring the veterans to the movie theaters, I think there's a lot of veterans, myself included, that would say, no, I'll gladly pay this if those veterans who, are at this stage in their life want to go to the movies. So we got together and we said, is there a way where we can do the legislative equivalent of having our cake and eating it too? And we came up with that. And I think this is really important. What we did is we gave, so if this is enacted in it, and I think it will be because both the House and the Senate did it, you're going to get a free license plate if you are a veteran. But what I insisted on to get my support, there needed to be a follow-up provision that all of the money that would have otherwise gone to both the Holyoke and Chelsea Soldiers Home or any soldiers' homes in the future that they lose because of this lost revenue, we are going to specifically earmark directly to these homes. And I was really happy with that because you'd think that would be a no-brainer, but there was a lot of back and forth on that. We came up with a compromise where veterans are going to get that plate and the homes are not going to be deprived of these really important things. So I think it was good government at work and another example of why the best type of governing going on in this country obviously is not in Washington, D.C. It's at the individual state levels where, believe it or not, there's a lot of good government compromise that's still happening. So just wanted to bring that to your attention as well, because
Holyoke. Thank you, Senator. That is so important. Holyoke, the city council, not so long ago, maybe it was a month or 2 months ago, voted to veterans with the license plates, veterans can park free anywhere in Holyoke, in a metered place, in a parking garage. These are maybe small, but very significant acknowledgements.
Absolutely.
And it just takes so long to get there. That's what's so striking for me is like, how was this not obvious 50 years ago, 40 years ago?
I agree. But again, little by little, we'll get there.
Little by little. Okay, well then here's hoping. I hope your family's well, your children, your wife, your cat.
My little guy understood Veterans Day. I'm sorry, Veterans Day. He understood Father's Day a little more yesterday, and it was a blessing just going to the park with him, hanging out with him. I had a lot of fun with my little guy yesterday. And of course, yeah, my wife as well. But being a dad has just changed my perspective. I'll tell you what, I read an article yesterday. I forget what media source, but it said that the dad's brains change. It was the New York Times when they have a kid, and they got into the science of it. And I couldn't tell you any of the science they were talking about, but what I can tell you with absolute certainty is that my life, my perspective, so many different things has changed since I've been a dad. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Thank you. You know, I saw YouTube with Seth Meyers and a question was presented to him. So what's fatherhood like? And it's basically said what you said. It just transformed him. It just awakened parts of his brain that he didn't even know that he had.
Absolutely.
And a love that he didn't know that he could feel. It's just,
100%. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, Senator.
We'll see you, my
But
friend,
next
as
time,
always.
yeah, I hope next time. I know that I spaced out a few times, and I really appreciate, yours and Caitlin's patience with me. I don't know what's going
I
on. I think
space out every day. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. If there's
Next week.
anything I understand, it's folks every now and again spacing out, because sometimes I feel that's my permanent state.